All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Conversion Therapy, or another session, I should say. I'm one of your hosts, Justin.
I'm your other host, Jordan.
Today, we're obviously going to be going into some different topics. We got a couple of killer ones to go through. I'm pretty excited. Should we do like a thing where it's like, oh, what has your week been like? Like, have you had any like exciting things happen to you in the past? Like, I don't know how long it's been since we've last filmed.
Yeah, I mean, we could. Not a lot happens in my life, though, so it might not go so well.
Yeah,
But I mean, we could try it.
let's do it. I'll start first. So
All right.
as I've mentioned before, I play Apex Legends a lot, and I stream on Twitch, and I obviously I'm on Twitch a lot of times when I have free time, and I was playing Apex, and I got queued into a game with one of my favorite streamers. Her name is AC, fellow Canadian, and I was like, "There's no way." I literally put question marks in the chat because I was like, "There's no way this is her." But then I saw her clan tag was Loba, which is like a character in the game, and I was like, "This is literally her." And then she started speaking, and it was really, really freaking cool because, of course, she recognized me, her chat recognized me, and it was like, it's pretty fucking cool. And then we insta dropped on basically another team, killed them, but then we got third partied. But I mean, technically, it was our third's fault for the reason that we died. But I mean, that's kind of a highlight. That's probably the only highlight. It's 10:23 in the morning right now. I have not gone to bed yet.
Are you kidding me?
No, because I mean, so I just got off graveyards, and now I go back to mornings, and so the transition is very weird because typically, well, the way it was at the beginning of the month was graveyards to afternoons, but then I switched shifts, or well, we switched shifts, and then now I'm on mornings. And so I have 2 mornings, and then I go into an afternoon. So I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna readjust, because it's I have to go to work, be there for 5:30, and then the next day be there for 6, and then the next day is an afternoon. So it's usually when I come home from my mornings, I go to bed, but I don't know how I'm gonna readjust for my. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know how.
See, my sleep schedule is completely opposite to yours. I was so tired last night. I went to bed at 9:30, and then I couldn't sleep past 6 a.m. So I've been up since 6, which is very abnormal for me. But yeah, okay. So yeah, my week. So, I mean, yeah, like I said, not a lot happens in my life. Things that are going on right now. I started reading this biopic book on Tiger Woods. I started it yesterday. Holy shit, it's so good.
Is it so how do they work? Is it they ask Woods questions and then it's just the reporting on it? Or?
So he wasn't complicit in the writing of this book. And if you've actually heard, if you've seen, there's a biopic done on HBO called Tiger, and it's actually on Crave right now. And it was this book was the basis for that show. The people who made this book, they got their information from a series of over 250 interviews of people that were close to Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
So they have it's actually pretty freaky the amount of information they have. Yeah, I mean, he's I don't know how much you know about him, but a lot of the time, the relationship between him and his father was romanticized a lot when he was a kid. They were supposed to have this bond, and his dad was supposed to be this really nurturing person. That really wasn't the case. His dad was really, really dead set on Tiger being a cultural phenomenon, and put a lot of unfair pressure on him, and he was subjected him to a lot of abuse. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I remember, I don't know what year it was. It's Masters is the biggest golf tournament, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if this was I don't really know what years Tiger Woods won them in, but I remember for one of them, I believe I was in a bar with my dad's side of the family, and everyone in that bar was rooting for him. Everyone. And I had no idea really what golf was. I had no idea who he was. But of course at the time, he ended up winning that year, and he was this big thing. But then the years following, he didn't do as well, and he was kind of people were let down by his performance. But then I think, what year did he most recently win? He came back.
Yeah, he had a tour win, I think, within the last 2 years, mm-hmm. and everybody was going nuts for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that was like, because I have never really paid attention to golf.
Me neither, to be
If
honest with you.
Yeah, if anything, like I would just hear about it in the news or whatever. But that went like that was trending on like everywhere, and so like everyone kind of knew about it. And I was like, damn, because I mean, I didn't really know like I don't know how old he is. I don't know how old he was like at the time of when he won. Like when I was in the bar. Well, I wasn't literally in the bar because I would have been a minor, but I was in a restaurant that had a bar. But yeah, I thought he was old then, and then it was like, oh, he's won again. I was like, oh, okay, maybe he's not. Maybe he's not that
Well,
old.
have you ever heard of an author named Malcolm Gladwell?
No, I haven't.
So he's kind of like this, like, I don't want to, he's like a, I don't want to call them self-help books. They're like sort of like exploratory science books that he writes.
Okay.
So in one of his books, he was talking about like prodigies, like Mozart and John Lennon. And he was saying he came up with this thing you might have heard of. It's called the 10,000 hour level of mastery. So so he's determined in these books that the things that make these prodigies great isn't necessarily an innate ability. It's that they work much, much, much harder than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that these people, they've got like any person, if they put 10,000 hours into a specific skill, they're going to be a master of it. So he's saying that, like, for example, he thinks that I think it was the Beatles reached their 10,000 hours probably by the age of like 25. And there was I think it was Mozart, he said probably 21 if you do the research. Tiger Woods, he said probably 15.
Damn.
Yeah, because when he was 2 years old, his dad had made this golf club toy for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like his dad had a vision for him, like as soon as he was born. So yeah, it was interesting.
Well, how far into the biopic are you?
We're like 80 pages.
Have they mentioned anything on like Woods not wanting that lifestyle and maybe pursuing another career?
So they've sort of said that in his family home, like they didn't really talk about how they felt a lot, and that was part of the family felt that was important. So he didn't feel like home was a safe space to say things like that. But there was a girl who he was seeing for a while, and in this book it says that he would call her at certain points, and he would just say like not necessarily that he didn't want to golf, but that his parents wanted him to do specific things. Like they wanted him to go to Stanford, and it sounds like he wanted to go to University of Las Vegas, but he went to Stanford anyways. Like he did a lot of things that weren't his decision, it sounds like.
Wasn't there like trending news of like his home life with his wife?
Yeah, so the book actually opens with the chapter of, I don't know if you remember hearing about when his wife like came after him with a golf club.
Mm-hmm.
So the first chapter in the book is that whole thing, and the amount of information that they have is interesting. Yeah.
Are they still married?
No. They got divorced like pretty quickly after.
Okay. Has he remarried or is he still single?
No, he was still single. He dated like Lindsey Vonn, and he dated somebody else, but yeah, he's still single.
Who's that?
Lindsey Vonn's like that famous American skier, the Olympian.
Oh.
I think now she's married to PK Subban.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Doesn't Subban have a brother who's like a goalie?
Yeah, and then he's got another brother who's a defenseman who was drafted by the Canucks, Jordan Subban.
Wait, drafted like this year?
No, like he hasn't made it. Like he's not going to make it.
Oh. That's sad. Do you personally know any famous people?
Like on a personal level?
I guess not really, because like I technically know a famous person that I used to go to school with.
You're talking like what level are we talking here?
You've like interacted with at some point in your life, whether it be through like school or like friends or like somehow. That's not like meeting them at a concert or a meet and greet or like just catching them off guard at like a Walmart.
Yeah, so the only one that I can think of is my sister's childhood friend. Her name's Haley. She's an actress now. She's been in a bunch of stuff. She was in Riverdale. She's been in a bunch of Netflix movies. I think she goes by the name of Haylaw now. She's also like a music artist. So yeah, that's probably the closest thing. How about you?
I think I mentioned before to you, like off camera or whatever. The Dennis Cholowski, who was like drafted to the Red Wings.
Oh yeah.
Um, I went to elementary school with him, and then, or no, wait. Okay, I always get this confused. I know for sure that there was a year in high school that we went to high school together, and I'm pretty sure we went to elementary school together. Not 100%. It's like a, I don't know. Um, but yeah, I remember I remember hearing his name in one of the drafts, and it was like, because it was pretty big here, because it was like, oh, Vancouver boy or whatever gets drafted to the Detroit Red Wings. And then I saw the name, and I was like, why is that such a familiar name? And then one of my friends messaged me, and she was like, hey, like this is, like we used to go to school with him. I was like, that makes so much sense. That's why his name's so damn familiar. But I don't know, like I don't really pay attention to hockey, anything at all, really. I don't think he's still on the Red Wings right now. He might be like in like the lower leagues or whatever. I don't know what the fuck it's called. But I don't even know how many games he's played on the Red Wings. But I remember like when like he was very interested in hockey when I remember like when we were in high school. And so it makes sense that he kind of went through. I mean, it was surprising because he was a first round pick. I think he was like drafted like 20 something in the first round. I was like, damn.
You know what year that was?
Let me look it up right
Because if he's a
now.
first round pick, like he's supposed to like that's a big deal.
2016 first round 20th pick.
Okay. Um,
So
so unfortunately that probably doesn't bode the best for his NHL career at this point.
yeah, it looks like I'm trying to look through. So he played 52 games in the 18-19 season on the Detroit Red Wings. He
What was
got
his stats?
7 goals, 9 assists, 16 points.
Not great.
Not great, yeah. And then, ooh, oh god. He played 36 games in the 1920 season, 2 goals, 6 assists. Played 16 games in the 2021 season, 1 goal, 2 assists. Apparently, for like it says for 2021, 2022, it says, oh, okay, so I guess he was on the Seattle roster, but then he's no longer on the active roster, and now he's on the Washington Capitals roster.
Okay. So he's still in the NHL.
Yeah, because he played in the AHL for a bit, and
Um,
then
I went
yeah.
to like I didn't know them personally, but I went to school with two players that were drafted in the NHL, Tyler Wotherspoon and Colin Fraser.
Are they
Um,
good?
Tyler Wotherspoon, I think, is in the New Jersey uh, Devils system right now.
Okay,
Colin Fraser was an NHLer for a few years. He played for the Oilers. He played for, I think, Nashville. Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he would remember me.
Oh, I've never even met these guys I'm talking about.
Yeah, I thought he had the same birthday as the friend that like messaged me that it was him. I thought they had the same birthday, but I think I'm thinking of a different person because that's not his birthday. I'm looking at his birthday right now, but I don't know who I was thinking of, but I mean, yeah, that's still super cool that wait, I wonder what number he is. Does it even say on this? It doesn't even freaking say. Oh, apparently he's a lefty. I don't
So,
know what I would be. Wait, if I'm turned, is it depending on which way you're turned?
no.
What is it depending on?
Like which hand is in front if you hold the hockey stick?
In front?
Yeah.
Like
So like
closer to the ground?
yeah, like practice a shot.
Uh,
Which hand is closest to
Okay,
the
I think I'm
ground?
a righty then.
You're a righty. Okay.
I'm a lefty when it comes to writing, but like any sport, I feel like I'm a righty.
See, that's funny because I am right-handed in everything except hockey. I golf right even,
Really?
but I play hockey left.
Yeah, I'm thinking because like I golf right. Um, I spike right in volleyball. I would shoot right in hockey, but I can't skate worth shit. And I bat right. And I've tried the other direction because normally like isn't it like very common if you're a lefty that you're a lefty in like everything?
I would think so.
Yeah, but like I've tried to, and it's so uncomfortable to do that. It's just like no.
Should we go to our first topic?
I think we should. Okay, so the first topic we're going to be covering is kind of a specific example of the more broad topic we're going into. So recently, Jesy Nelson and Nicki Minaj released a music video entitled Boys with a Z. And Jesy Nelson, who used to be a singer for Little Mix, who I used to listen to a lot. I kind of still do listen to quite a bit. She's recently kind of gone away from that group. She's gotten a lot of backlash because in this video, her skin is much darker than it normally is. Like she's pure white. Like she's pure white. And
but okay, let me jump in for a sec. When I was looking into this, what I found out is they were saying that the issue that we're going to speak of when you're saying she appears much darker, apparently that was an issue when she was in this group as well, this English group. Is that not true?
Oh, like what do you mean? Like she looked darker throughout the years?
So apparently this has been a thing that she's been doing for a while, and you can probably speak to that more than I can.
That makes sense because like so they won the X Factor, and that actually does kind of make sense because you'd realize. So I can't remember what year it was that they won, but she was white and she wasn't like like she didn't tan or whatever. She didn't darken her skin in any way. And then kind of that does make sense because they of course you have like their album covers throughout the years and like I can't remember what album it was, but it was when they did Secret Love Song with Jason Derulo, and like she's quite a bit darker on that, and like
I didn't mean to interrupt. Just finish.
Oh no, you're good.
Laying it out for the listeners.
So in this video, there's a lot of backlash because so I haven't actually listened to the song. I don't know if the lyrics correlate to the backlash or not. I literally have just seen parts of the video and I'm just like, ooh, okay, because she has much darker skin and like there are multiple takes in the video that she's just surrounded by black men.
And there's so Nicki appeared and then there was like the Bad Boy sampling. Also.
Oh yes, that's right.
Right.
That's right. But I was like, damn. And then Leanne Pinnock, who is another member of Little Mix, she's a black woman. She kind of expressed concerns over this and her kind of personal experience about this. And so Nicki and Jesy both did a live together. I think this was on Instagram. And Nicki kind of was just like, oh, like if other people can tan and not get criticized for it, or like can darken their skin or get lip fillers, why can't she? Why is she just getting the backlash? And it's very ironic because Nicki called out Miley Cyrus for doing this exact same thing a couple years ago. And everyone's called Nicki out on this and just been like, sweetheart, like, why are you doing this only when it benefits you? And it's true. Like she literally did the same, like, honestly, like, she did it with Miley, and I kind of agreed with her when she did it with Miley because, I mean, Miley ended up agreeing with her after a couple of years. She was like, yeah, I was in a fucked up state, and, like, I shouldn't have done a lot of the stuff that I did. But I just, like, I don't really understand why, like, she's kind of making an excuse for Jessy's actions. And, like, Jesy, like, she's kind of, like, stood there the entire time, like, just saying nothing, nodding her head. I keep forgetting that, of course, we have a lot of listeners that are going to be like on Spotify. So they can't see me actually like reenacting what she did. But I mean, yeah, I haven't listened to the song. I don't know if like there's lyrics that kind of correlate to a lot of the backlash. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there were. But that's not, I mean, like I was shocked to see, like, I was really, really shocked to find out that Jessy's just pure white. Like, both sides of her family. Like, I really thought that I was going to read up and it's going to be like, oh, like, she's, like, quarter black or half black or, like, something. But no, she's just white. Yeah. And I'm just like...
Well, okay, so the thing, I think it's important to mention, too, that what's the group that she was in the UK again? What are they called?
Little Mix.
Little Mix. Okay. So one original member of Little Mix is black. So that's important to mention too. One member, the rest of them are not. So the thing is okay. So, and I got to give credit to Zach Campbell, who I watched his video on this topic. But I agree with him. He said that the reason that, and I agree with this, the reason that Nicki probably stood up is in favor of this when she wasn't previously is just the fact that she's saving face, right?
Yeah.
She's implicated in this. So if this goes badly, it reflects poorly on her. I think that's literally her only motivation in defending it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, Nicki, like, I don't really know what's been up with her lately, but she's had a lot of really bad takes. Like, do you
She
remember her vaccine take?
Yes, and you know what? Even before, like when I was like, I don't know a lot about Nicki other than her music, but
Mhm.
when I was digging this up, I found that she's been in like she's been quiet. It's been quiet for about a year or two, but she's had a lot of controversy in the last 5 years,
Oh, yeah.
especially with her and her husband. Like,
And, like, her and fucking Cardi B.
yes, and her and Cardi B.
And, like, yeah, it's just like, like, I used to love Nicki Minaj. I used to love her. And, like, I just don't know. Like, she was like, it was like a couple months where I was like, okay, you know, like, so the Cardi B thing happened, and then of course, you know, the stuff came out with her husband, and then so she appeared on the premiere episode of season 11, I believe it was. Wait, no, 12, season 12 of RuPaul's Drag Race. And, you know, it was like all funny and like whatever, and I'm just like, okay, this, you know, like maybe, you know, she's turning a new leaf. I hope so, because, you know, like I still love her. But then, of course, came the vaccine thing, where it's like, oh, you know, like, what was it again? My brother or something got like chlamydia or like an STD from it.
Yeah, it was something like somebody getting an STD from it. Yeah.
And then she was like featured on Fox News and like the Tucker Carlson show, and then she shared it, and she's like 100% because she was getting a lot of backlash for it. She's like 100% blah blah blah, and I'm just like, what the hell? Like, why are you? First of all, like, Fox News does not like you, like, does not. Like, they've continuously spread like a lot of bullshit when it comes to like your videos. Like, Anaconda came out and they were harping on her for Anaconda. I was like, why are you like, I was like, I don't like the fact that you're just doing this because like it's somebody that agrees with you on a large platform and it benefits you. And this doesn't look good for you at all.
Okay. So, and if you don't want to go here, that's fine. But I think let's like, okay. So yeah, we've established like Nicki, it looks a little bit shady with the stance she's taken on this. So let's jump into a bit of like blackfishing itself and why it's bad. Okay. So like, I did a little bit of research, and this is the definition I found on what blackfishing is. Okay. So it says, commonly perpetuated by females of European descent, which involves artificial tanning and using makeup to manipulate facial features in order to appear to have some type of Black African ancestry. Some consider it to be an equivalent to modern day blackface because it capitalizes off the looks of historically oppressed groups of people by people who come from more privileged backgrounds.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, but here's the thing is, okay, my problem with this is why, like, there are numerous artists that do this, that have done this for years, that we are allowed to do this. So why is this bad?
I agree 100%. Like, full T, Ariana Grande.
And that's one of the places I was going to this. Have you ever heard of a song by Ariana called Bad Behavior?
I think so. I think it was mentioned, like, cause like she's been called out for this.
Yes.
And so I'm pretty sure that song. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that song was mentioned in.
And even like, do you ever heard of an artist like? I may be dating myself with this one. Do you ever heard of an artist named JoJo?
Oh yes, JoJo. Yep.
Okay, so JoJo is literally the only what's the word for somebody? Okay, I'm just gonna say the only white person that does R&B music that I can think of, right? And like, she doesn't necessarily blackfish with her appearance, but I don't know.
You think it's like the type of music she's singing?
Well, I think that, okay, so what is the philosophical problem with this type of behavior? Is it that we are stealing another group of people's culture? Is that the issue?
I think it's just like partially that. I think a lot of times, like, that it's done by people, like, it's done by like when it comes to like looks or trends, it's just like what looks good at the time, but it's never like people wanting to like take a voyage into like the history of certain looks or like just like a certain culture in general. Like I know a lot of people, or I've seen like a lot of people that lip filler, for example. Black people have bigger lips than white people. And like a lot of white people get lip filler because they're like, I want that. And that's like what they'll do. They'll do that to look better, but they'll never actually like want to take a look into like the history of Black people. They'll just kind of use parts of their life when it kind of like accessorizes certain features for them. And it's like when it comes down to it, they're like kind of stealing part of a culture and not really giving appreciation to it, or like it's just kind of inappropriate in a lot of ways. And it's just,
but can it not almost be viewed in certain ways as like an homage to their culture? That
no.
like no that
I
like,
don't think I don't think there's been a single example of an homage to their culture. I've never seen it.
but isn't it isn't it sort of like a testament to how far we've come in times, that there's these groups of people that historically people would say have been privileged, that are wanting themselves to embody these groups of people that have been segregated by society?
Knowing like the intent of the people doing this to say like alter their body or like alter features about them to kind of like simulate more Black features, no. Like I don't think there's like you can be like, oh, you know, like I wasn't doing it for this intention. It's just like, hey, well, you weren't doing it for a really good one. You were doing it to look better for yourself. I have never seen an example of like.
But I don't necessarily even think that it's just they're doing it to look better. I think that they're doing it to appeal to a wider audience, right? So like this song with Nicki and Jesy, like if she doesn't try to reach into that demographic, then she like that, like, you know what I mean? It's a career move. It's not necessarily
What demographic?
The demographic that's going to listen. And that's where I'm taking this. Do certain genres of music belong to certain people? That's where I'm going with this.
I mean, I think that like Jesy could have done this video without anything, really. Like people know that she's a talented singer. People know that like, I mean, of what has been shown, she's a very like kind and easygoing person. Unfortunately, certain things have come out recently that disprove that a little bit, just with like other Little Mix members. But like I don't think that needed to be done, and I definitely don't think so. Like the live that they did was basically in response to Leanne kind of voicing her concern over this.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what pissed me off, because it was just like they handled it horribly, even with their viewpoints. And it was just like they didn't even like try to really understand where these voices of concern were coming from. And that's kind of like a huge issue I find with it. I think that demographic can still be reached. Like there have been plenty of instances where it's like, are you talking about pop and then like a hip hop artist that's like in, or like a rap artist, or like what are you talking about specifically?
Yeah, I'm talking about like R&B and rap genres. But I mean, again, like I can say like, and I can use my own example, like an artist like JoJo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we wouldn't say that JoJo blackfishes and she's appealed to R&B fans.
I mean, I don't know like the history of R&B, or else I'd kind of.
Well, the thing is I think we should probably also mention that the whoever their record label is probably deserves a lot of the blame too, because there was a very clear effort of them to almost imply approval of the Black community on this song, because they put Nicki in it. They put the Bad Boy for Life sample in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So there's so many implicit seals of approval that it's kind of like, well, we accept this, so you should accept it too.
Yeah.
I think it was a branding thing. That's what I think it was.
Yeah. Another thing, it's kind of like frustrating to see, because a lot of people getting, let's say, lip filler, or like there are white people out there that, you know, get dreads, and it's just like frustrating because like they don't want the repercussions of what it's like, because like these are things that like halter Black people's experiences. For example, in the workforce, like box braids were like looked at as highly unprofessional. And like they would literally either have to switch it up or they would lose their job for some reason. I have no idea at what it was or what they were thinking when they said this, but like white people can do it and basically not have any consequences from it. And like they don't want the repercussions, they just want to like look better basically. And I was watching this one creator and they had said that lip filler is cosmetic blackface, and I honestly fully agree. On like 100%. She explained it in an extremely well way. It's because like, and then so somebody else reacted to her and was like, well, sweetheart, like I'm not getting lip filler because of you. And then I think she referred to like Kylie Jenner or something like that. And then the creator responded and was like, guess where Kylie Jenner is getting it from, sweetheart? Like, why do you think you want, like, if black people did not exist, you would not want lip filler. The only reason you want it is because you've seen.
I don't agree with that because I can understand the argument, but I don't think it's a necessarily cause and effect relationship. I think that that's a theory.
There would be no motivation to get lip filler at all. Like there would be no want to do it because you don't have a comparison of like two different backgrounds and the size of their lips.
But I don't think that that's universally true. Because okay, for example, like do you know the person that I think of when I think of like a celebrity with big lips, like the OG in my eyes?
Who?
Angelina Jolie.
I mean, I guess. Has she come out and said she's had any work done?
No, but I mean, she doesn't need to, in my opinion.
But like, how do you know that she hasn't?
Have you seen her lips?
Yes. She's also rich, and she could get a procedure that doesn't look different than what they like. That doesn't look much different than what she started with. You don't know that she's gotten it.
I'm just saying, generally speaking, where there's smoke, there's fire.
And also, that's like one instance. Even if she hadn't gotten lip filler.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. All it takes is one instance for it not to be a blanket statement like that.
Oh, you think that if black people didn't exist and people saw Angelina Jolie, that they would want lip filler because Angelina Jolie has big lips?
I'm saying that isn't universally true.
I disagree, but there would be no motivation to do it. There would be no comparison for like, oh, like this is what it looks like. There would be none of that kind of surrounded. So, like I could be wrong, but like these are things that like you have many black creators that are coming out and saying like, this is what I had to experience throughout high school because like people would constantly harass me because I had bigger lips. And it was like a fault that they had. But then like as people are getting older, it's like starting to become trendy. So like they'll get procedures done to get lip filler. And like meanwhile, they're one of the people way back when that, harshly reacted to a black person's natural features. It's like they don't want the repercussions of what they experience. They just want to look better. You know what I mean? So that's like, I don't know. It's just an extremely frustrating thing to like see and like to have people try to like defend or like make excuses for. And like the same creator that talked about cosmetic blackface, she also said that, which is 100% true, that white people are among the only people that can darken their skin and be praised for it. And it's so fucking true. Like I literally never thought, like when I was in high school and we left for summer and we came back in September. It's like everyone wanted certain people to have a tan and like you were praised for it. You were praised if you got spray tanned. You were praised if you like just naturally got tanned or whatever. And it was just like, it's so true. And I mean, at that time I was annoyed by it because like, it was just like, why is this even a thing? This doesn't make any sense at all. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Well, okay. So, first I just want to, can you hear their landscaping outside? Can you hear it?
No.
Okay, good. Okay. The thing is okay, so here, and I have this written down. I didn't know if I want to go there, but I kind of do. But I think that the problem I have with this is, okay, so why does a group like, okay, so if this is a problem, and I think for you've established that it is, then why isn't it true? Like, why does it only apply to historically privileged groups?
What do you mean?
Like I'm saying, under the definition of blackfishing, or culture fishing, let's call it, for what I'm about to say, in this definition, if a black person culture fished a white person, it's not necessarily, it's not valid under that definition.
I mean, like when does that really happen though?
Well, I think it does happen, but I don't think it's called out because how do I want to word this? Because sort of like white culture is so normalized.
Well, what is white culture?
You tell me.
I have no idea. I honestly like bland food and sandals and fucking Crocs. I don't know. Like if whatever it is, it's boring as fuck and I want the fuck out of it. But I mean, like so one of the creators that I follow, she'd brought up the fact that somebody had talked about, like what about black people with blonde hair? And she was like, well, historically, black people had blonde hair because they were forced to assimilate into white culture with white people. And honestly, like there are instances that I've heard that like businesses that look at box braids as like unprofessional, one of the things that like will be acceptable to them will be blonde hair, straight blonde hair. And so it's just like that part's confusing because it's just like it's like cultural appropriation versus like forced assimilation into white culture. And I'm sure like there are like that's why I said like white people are among the only people that can darken their skin and be praised for it. I'm sure there are non-white people but light-skinned people of different backgrounds that darken their skin, and it's the same thing. But I think it's just the difference is like, well, one, it's much more of a noticeable difference with white people darkening their skin, being white, versus like someone who's light-skinned. And I also think that, I mean, I don't know, like, maybe that's the only thing, really. I mean, I don't agree with it when it's like you're doing certain things in regards to like blackfishing, for example. I don't agree with it in any other background that isn't black. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I do agree. I think that it's like in the media wise, it's heavily more amplified for white people that do it.
I just don't think your appearance should dictate the type of physical attributes that are. I don't think that the attributes that you outwardly portray to the world should be concrete based on your history.
Well, I don't think that like, I mean, I wish that we weren't living a life that like we've kind of been brought into, to where like it's kind of a thing for where like, I mean, black culture used to be heavily looked down upon. And I mean, for the most part, honestly, like still is. And so like,
but that's what I was trying to get at earlier, is that this wouldn't have been a thing 20 years ago, because you know what I mean? White people wouldn't want to assimilate into black culture.
Oh, I know. Yeah. It's just like, I don't really know what like started like the trend of like bigger lips or like dreads. But it's just like, because like there are people that are like, oh, you know, Vikings used to have this back in like, I can't remember when they talked, back in like the Roman days. And it's like, well, Vikings had matte hair, which is different than dreads. And like,
I think dreads have been a thing for a while.
They have.
Yeah.
But like, it's not like the hairstyle. If you look at a picture of what matte hair was back in the Viking days versus like what dreads are, they're two completely different things.
Yeah. I'm not even talking about the Viking days, but I'm talking about like dreads. Dreads have been like sort of like a counterculture thing for like the last like 30 years easy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. I would agree. But I mean, I don't really know what's going to happen with this. I honestly don't think much is. Like the live kind of I don't know, just iterated the fact to me that like they don't think they're in the wrong, and they think that they can make excuses and kind of get out of it because they're making money from it. And
I'll be completely honest with you. I didn't know what blackfishing was until you asked me if we could do this topic.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I had never heard of it before.
Mood. Who was that guy you mentioned before that you were watching his video on this?
Zach Campbell.
Is that the one that you sent me a video of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's awesome. Shout out Zach Campbell.
And then we like references like dangly earrings. Wait, that was him, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Did you buy those gold earrings?
I haven't yet.
Oh.
I've like literally been putting it off for so long. I don't know if I showed you. How much were they when I showed you?
I think you said they were like 20 bucks. 20
Okay.
bucks.
So I wanted to buy like two, because like you know how it's like individual. I wanted to buy like a set of them, or like a pair or whatever, just to make sure that I have like, because I don't know, I don't like mixing and matching, or I feel like I wouldn't. So I feel like it's safer just to get two. And then like if I do like mixing and matching, then I have that option available to me. But if I don't, which my gut feeling is that I don't, then I can just kind of go with, you know, two of the same ones. And then
Symmetry is so boring. It's overrated.
well, maybe I won't like it. I don't know. I just like, I'm thinking of like the way that, I don't know. I mean, I've never had dangly earrings before, so maybe I'll end up liking mixing and matching. Maybe I'll end up liking both, and then I'll do like wife swap, except with earrings.
Guys, hit up Justin on socials if you want him to get gold dangly earrings that don't match.
Period. If I reach 1,000 followers by the end of the week, no, I'm just kidding. But is there anything else we should like go into? With this, at least.
I've touched everything I wanted to. It's up to you.
I'm just trying to think of like if there's anything that like I'm gonna remember at the end and be like, oh shit, I wish I talked about this in the moment. I don't know, like I wish I kind of noticed this a lot with kind of like Asian heritage as well, is that their heritage will kind of be branded for looks, because like it's a very pretty and like colorful and like surround, like there are like flowers involved and like, you know, like cherry blossoms and like umbrellas, like they're very pretty. And you know, they're kind of be like branded by non-Asian people in a way that's kind of insulting, because like that's also like the only thing they'll do. They'll never actually take a look at like the history or want to like venture into like learning about their language or like trying their food or, you know, stuff like that. They'll kind of just be like, oh, you know, like this is good for us. I mean, the world is centered around like media and like cameras and pictures and like how you look online. Like there's like a huge branding part there. But I don't know, that's another thing that I've noticed too. It's just like a lot of things are kind of, I don't know what the word is when it comes to like used for picture purposes, and
Aesthetics?
instead of used for aesthetics instead of actually taking into like looking into the history of a certain culture or like heritage. Or
Well, I think, and I think probably a lot of this, what we're talking about and what you're talking about, goes to the root of the state of this current state of the music industry.
yeah,
I mean, like the way that music is consumed right now, right? Like it's record companies and artists are more concerned with like sort of like the income model of the music industry has changed so much. You don't make any money off records anymore. You make money off your touring and your merchandising. So I think that artist images are more important than they ever have been before, and I think that's probably a part of it.
yeah,
It's less about the music.
yeah, I would agree. But I mean, I also think it's just like there's just like so many things surrounding it that is just like kind of like, I don't know, it's just like done thoroughly horribly. Like the education system, like any part of history, like full T, history in school was just white history. That's it. Like straight up. We were taught that Christopher Columbus was an amazing guy who discovered a land that was already inhabited by other people who had like no faults to him. And like we were never actually taught like who he actually was as a person, the fact that he ain't do shit, the fact that he relied on other people to do basically his work for him. And like, you know what I mean? Like it's just very like a whitewashed version of history. And like I kind of realized it like in the moment, but I never really kind of ventured into why I had a feeling that it was. Because like I was 16 and like this is kind of a continuous thing that had been taught to me throughout the years, even in elementary school. And like I'm trying to think of like when we've learned specifically about anything that isn't white in history. The only thing I can think of is learning about some Chinese dynasties when I was in like grade 7.
Louis Riel, that's the only one I could think of.
Yeah, like it's just like what?
Yeah, it's just basically glorified colonization. That's what
exactly.
That's what social studies was.
Exactly, and it's just like I don't know why it's like that. Like it's just thinking back to that is just so fucking annoying,
it's
dude.
Because history is written by the winners. It's basically what it is.
Yeah, true. I mean, that's why I think stuff like critical race theory is so fucking important. I
Like,
mean,
you know what I mean? If the Nazis had won World War II, we'd be reading about how they liberated the world from evil.
yeah, we would be reading about how their forced vaccinations is the same as what's going on right now. And yeah, today is the current Holocaust, and that's that. Have you actually heard like a good argument for like a comparison to the Holocaust for nowadays?
I haven't really looked into that argument too much, to be honest with you.
Mood. I mean, I haven't really either. I've just seen like a bunch of people that I was acquainted to. I don't even want to say that I think well of them because I mean, no tea, I kind of don't. But yeah, I really haven't heard like a good argument for it. I don't think I ever will hear a good argument for it. But that's just me. That's just me. Yeah, I think that covers basically everything. I'm
Okay,
sure if
sounds good.
I'm sure if okay, sounds good. I'm sure if there's anything, we can just fucking bring it up in a later episode and be like, hey, we were talking about this, and then this happened.
What I think we should do is, hey, let's do this. Let's do placebo.
You going to placebo next?
Let's do that one next because I think that's going to be a big one because it's really two, and then we'll see what we're at for time.
Okay, I'm down.
Okay.
Do you want to start off?
Yeah. So we kind of wait. Did we mention this on the? I was going to say we mentioned this last week, but we mentioned it on the one that we didn't post.
I love how you realize it and then you still continue to say it as like these people, like the people watching will have no idea what we're talking about. Yeah, we basically we'll be candid and real. We started filming with, I think we had two of the same topics as we are talking about now, and then a third topic that was different. And we started with that topic, I'm pretty sure. We got into we were about 35 minutes in, and literally like Jordan's talking and he just pauses and then he just goes, yeah, I'm not feeling this. Like I was dead tired that day.
Yeah, so was I.
So tired. And it was just it was hard to bounce off of anything. I feel like if I had more energy, I'd be able to be like, oh, let's venture off here. Let's go here. Or, let's take like with what we just talked about, we went in multiple directions talking about many different things. We could have done the same thing with that topic. It might have been a little bit more difficult, but I mean, I don't know. If I had the energy, I'd probably be able to find something.
Yeah.
But
It wasn't flowing well that day.
Yeah.
It was stagnant and we were kind of sputtering. It was really disjointed. It just didn't feel very fluid.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, so we mentioned when we were filming that one that we wanted to talk about the butterfly effect and the placebo effect, and we're kind of bunching this into one, but they're really interesting. And even when I looked into them, they're even more interesting than I thought. So I'm going to start off a little bit with the butterfly effect. So for those of you that don't really know what the butterfly effect is, the cultural depiction of it in the why it's called the butterfly effect is the idea is that a butterfly flapping its wings in Japan, which is considered a small effect, can create ripples which could cause a tornado in Texas. That's sort of the idea of it. I looked into it a little bit and I found did you find out there's a scientist from MIT, his name was Edward Lorenz. Did you
I don't think so. I don't think so, but I'll nod ahead and agree.
So he was doing some forecasts, some weather forecasts, and he was using a computer model. And he was using, and one computer model was to 6 decimal points, the inputs that he was putting in. And he found that it gave him a certain forecast. He stepped away for a little while. He used a different computer, which only had to 3 decimal points. So what his hypothesis was that because there was such a small increment in his inputs that the forecast wouldn't be much different from his initial projections. What he found was a difference of just 3 decimal points created such a vast difference in the predictive weather of this model. And the reason, and really the scientific reason why it's called the butterfly effect, is if you put in a series of states into this model, a series of different numbers that have small incremental differences between them, the pattern that shows up in the shape of a butterfly.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. I thought it was going to be something referring to caterpillar into a butterfly. But that makes sense too.
So it's a set of of points and they never intersect and they kind of keep curling and they go in like these figure eight butterflies type of shapes.
I can't remember what class it was, but we were talking about the effect in high school. And I think this was grade 11 or 12. And the question was posed, like, what do you think is like, have you ever thought about the worst thing that's ever happened due to an action that you have done through like the butterfly effect? And like, that fucked me up. That question fucked me up. Cause I was like, because like it was kind of an introduction to work, because like it had been brought up in my life a little bit, but I'd never really kind of gone into depth learning about it. But then we did in that class, and yeah, that shit. I was like, oh well, I wouldn't think so, and then I kind of like learned more. I was like, okay, well, I actually really don't know. Like that fucked me up. Or like, do you think that an action that you haven't taken that you were going to has saved something from happening, or maybe that has like the opposite of saved, has caused something to happen that wouldn't have happened if you had done it?
So I think in terms of like human action versus scientific butterfly effect, they're very different. I think that
Yeah.
in terms of human action, it is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It completely is a thing.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, like, you know what I mean? If you're going to work and you leave 10 minutes earlier, then you might have missed a vehicle that runs a red light that kills you. Like there's the ripple effects are endless.
Yeah.
And you can drive yourself mad thinking about the different ways things could have gone. But I think that the cool thing about the butterfly effect is that it's like a complete antithesis to like determinism. It's everything is within your control. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. I mean, just like, oh my God, yeah. Even thinking about it now, it's like, honestly, like somebody could have died because like I forgot to lock the door. And then I had to come back and lock the door, and I left like 2 minutes later than I originally planned. Like somebody could have died because like, I don't know, because I wasn't there at the red light, that they didn't realize there was a car in front of them, or maybe they needed the car to be in front of them because that cushioned their like hit to some other car. Although I'm happy to say I've never been in a car accident. Have you ever been in a car accident?
Yeah, I've been at fault in one.
Oh, you have. Do you want to explain? And unless it's embarrassing, then you don't
No,
have
well, I
to.
mean, it's kind of embarrassing, but I'll explain anyways.
I'm sure you wouldn't do it again.
I still make this mistake. So I have this really bad, I mean, everybody has bad habits when they drive. I have this really bad habit that I'm better with it now, but I still do it. So if I'm turning right and you know how when you sort of have the right of way when you're making a right-hand turn where there's like a merge lane?
Yeah.
If there's a vehicle in front of me and I see them let off the brakes and their brake lights turn off and they kind of go, I assume that they're gone. So I assume that they're gone, and then I'm looking to my left and I'm looking to see if it's safe for me to go.
Mm-hmm.
So this particular day, I was merging onto the freeway. This van in front of me she let off her brakes and she kind of accelerated. So I'm like, she's gone. I looked, it was clear for me to go. I gassed it, went straight. She was still there. I nailed her.
Did she get pissed at you?
She got pretty pissed. And then at the point, so I got out, she's like, we're going to exchange information. I was on my way to the gym, so I didn't actually have my wallet with me. So I was like, sorry, I don't have my license. And she interpreted that as like, you don't have a license. So she started screaming. And I was like, no, I didn't say I don't have a license. I don't have it on me.
Oh my God.
But anyways, yeah, that's how that one went. That was in like 2013, probably.
You don't have to say like the specifics or what or not, but was it expensive?
Yes.
And like, so with the way that it works, like, does she didn't have to pay anything?
She
Or
would
like,
have
did
had
she
to,
have a deductible?
she would have had to pay a deductible if she went through her insurance, but her premiums wouldn't have gone up. I had to pay my deductible and my premiums went up.
Damn. Yeah, jeez. With that whole stuff, like, so that's obviously on your driving record, right?
So actually, the way that ICBC worked back then, I don't know about the new model anymore,
Mm-hmm.
but if you had one at fault accident and you went 3 years without another one, your discounts reverted back to where they were prior to your accident. So I only paid the higher premiums for 3 years.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I hope that I'll never. I mean, I can't predict the future, so I don't know if
Statistics say that you will be in a car accident.
really. Oh god, that's scary. Hopefully not in my Honda. Give me my fuck. That should have happened when I had my fucking Kia. Fuck, now I have a nice car. I don't want that shit to happen
You should
anymore.
have just went in your Kia and just hit somebody, just got it out of the
Be
way.
like, okay, sorry. Yeah, like I'll take this. I'll pay it. I just, please, this is my one. The only kind of incident I've ever had happen. Well, okay, so I've had two, so I'll talk about two. So the first one, I still have my N. I'm 23, whatever. I just haven't had any motivation to go and get my full license. I don't need it right now. I like whenever I go and see people or whenever I go on trips, I just have one person with me, and if not, then it's family, and that doesn't matter. But I had my aunt at this time, and I was going to a volleyball game at a different school with one of my friends and her ex-boyfriend, and we got to this intersection, and there was this gas station on the right, and this gas station is notorious for having a cop just there. I have no reason, like I don't know why. I really don't. It's such a weird place because it's not a busy intersection. Like it's like a decently busy one, but of what I've read, there have been like no accidents, like major accidents there. So, but they just have a cop there. And so there was a cop there, and the only reason he came over was because my friend who was in the back didn't have her seatbelt on. And then he was like, "Can I see your license?" And I was just like, "Can I, like, why do you want to see my license?" And he was like, "Well, you look younger than I thought you were outside." And so I showed him my license, and I had an N. And so I got into an argument with this cop because he said, "You're not allowed," he said, on like just at all, "You're not allowed more than one person." And I said, "Well, if he was my brother and she was my friend, this would be fine because I'm allowed unlimited family members and one other person." And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Yes." Like, I was like, "I'm at fault here because they're not that relation to me. But like, that's literally the law." And he's just like, "Oh, really? What law is that?" And I'm just like, flip over my license and look at the back of my license. I was like, read that. And I pointed directly to it. I was like, "What does that say to you?" And he was like, "Oh." He's like, "This wasn't what," and I was like, "Hey," I was like, "How is this a thing?" Like, and
You
then he
got
tried,
you
sorry,
got
go
into
ahead.
a hypothetical argument with a cop.
Yes, because I was just kind of like, I was pissed off at the situation because I was pissed off that I was getting a ticket for like something that kind of like, of course I was at fault, but it wasn't really my fault. But I was like, whatever, this is kind of, I shouldn't have done this. I would do it again, but I shouldn't have. But then like he literally was like, "You shouldn't be," and I was like, "That's not a thing." I was just like pissed off that he kind of said that, and then he like went into, "Well, it doesn't matter because," and I was just like, "Okay, I know this doesn't matter because I'm at fault here." But if somebody else gets pulled over and their time wasted when they're in a situation that I'm describing where they're literally with a family member and one other friend, and you're going and you're pulling them over because you're incorrect on what you're thinking, and you like this law specifically, you aren't like recognizing in a proper way, then you're wasting their time, and like this shouldn't be a thing. So like I was like, just please remember that like you're wrong in this instance. Like I'm taking a ticket because like I know I'm like over passengering, but like I don't know why you think you're right.
How does a cop not know the driving laws?
Exactly. And another one, this is so funny. So we were pulling out, this was when I think I was in grade 11. I was pulling out with my friend and she was driving. And there was like a cop that was kind of in like outside of the parking lot, and he had asked us to pull over. And she was like, "Why the fuck are you asking us to pull over?" And I can't remember what she got a ticket for, but he looked over at me because I had my phone out and I'm in the passenger seat. "Sweetheart, I can have my phone out at any fucking time I want." And he was like, "You aren't allowed to have your phone out." I'm just like, "Excuse me?" He's like, "You aren't allowed to have your phone out. You're a passenger." I was like, "Yeah, I am a fucking passenger and I'm allowed to have my fucking phone out." He's just like, "No, you're not. You can get a ticket." I'm just like, "Oh, really? Why aren't you giving me a ticket?" He's like, "Well, I'll let you off with a warning." I'm just like, "No, you're giving her a ticket for something. Why aren't you giving me a ticket? Bitch, you have the time." And I was like, "Maybe you aren't giving me a ticket because it's not a fucking thing, or you're unsure of if it's a thing or not, and you don't want to be wrong." And we literally went to court against this officer for the ticket that she got. And I think she only got like $25 off of it or whatever because the judge was a fucking idiot. But yeah, we were not pleased. I was
So
like
the
sitting there.
so the cop showed up to court then?
Yeah.
That's interesting because I don't know if you've heard this, but if the cop doesn't show up, he gets thrown out, and apparently that
Mm-hmm.
happens quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, we went in, and it was me, her, and then her dad. And we were like, "Please don't show up. Please don't show up." And then he showed up, and I was like, "Fuck." And of course, like he didn't recognize us, obviously, because like you give tickets to how many people and you're doing your job every fucking day. But yeah, I was pretty pissed off.
Yeah, I heard it's like luck of the draw because if the cop's not working, they're not going to come in.
Yeah, they had quite a bit of cases that day, and there was probably more than half of them where the cop didn't show up. And your case is completely like, you don't have to pay a ticket if your cop don't show up. But of course, we had one of the 2 or 3 cops that actually ended up showing up, which was not fun for us.
One other thing I wanted to mention that I found on the butterfly is so what I was explaining a little bit earlier when a small change in like specific when in a small change in input data like 1 or 2 decimal points creates different effects. It's called sensitive dependence on initial conditions, and they've actually used this study and this model that Morantz came up with. They followed couples and predicted divorce rates and were correct 87% of the time using chaos theory.
Wait, like they predicted when they would divorce, or like if they would divorce?
If they would divorce. Using chaos theory math that Lorentz came up with, and they were right 87% of the time.
That's actually pretty cool.
Apparently this data, like they can predict like the way that gas moves in the atmosphere.
How would they track it though with like marriages? Like how do they track it? Do they track it off like behavior? Do they track it off of...
I don't know. I didn't look into the study, and I'm not a numbers guy, so you'd probably be the best guy to do that.
That'd be very interesting to read about. Like just like the aspects to data they have. And like how they draw their conclusion. That'd be super cool.
Have you ever heard of the Mandela Effect?
Yes, I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but it's talked about quite a bit.
So why it's called the Mandela Effect is because everybody like, let me test if you fall victim to this. What happened to Nelson Mandela? Do you know what happened to Nelson Mandela?
No.
You know who he is, right?
I think so.
Who is he?
He's a person. And his name was Nelson. His last name was Mandela. Wasn't he like a speaker?
No. I won't embarrass you. I'll just explain it.
Who was he?
So in the age of apartheid in South America.
Oh, was he fucking like the fucking head of something, like the president of something?
He was the president of South America for a while.
Oh, period. I got it.
But here's no, you definitely didn't.
I literally said president, bitch.
Yeah, but after I told you. But anyways.
Yeah. No, wait, no. You never said president. I said, is he a person? His name was Nelson. His last name was Mandela. And then you went something. And then I said, was he a president of something? Because I knew he was like a big figure.
All right, Justin. Anyways.
Period.
So he, during apartheid, he was an advocate for ending segregation. And the government that was in power at the time put him in prison. He went to prison for 30 years.
Jesus.
He got out and he ended up becoming the president of South America. So he's a cultural figure.
Was it like an instant thing that he became president, or was it?
No, not instant.
Okay.
So he, the reason it's called the Mandela Effect is a lot of people remember him dying in prison. Like if you ask somebody, like what happened to Nelson Mandela, they'll be like, oh yeah, he got sent to prison and he died. Well, that's not really what happened. He got out of prison and he was the president of South Africa. So
wait, is it South Africa?
South Africa.
I think you've said South America this whole time.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm pretty sure you did, because I'm thinking like, wait, he's the president of like an entire like nation, like not like nation, but an entire fucking continent.
I thought I said South Africa, but
maybe you did. That's what I heard.
If I did, I meant South Africa. Okay. So he, people swear that he died in prison, and now there's a bunch of different, like, I'd have to go look them up, but there's a bunch of different instances of this where like, let me look up examples of the Mandela Effect. I'll do it when you're talking next, but when people swear they remember an alternate history to what actually happened.
Oh yeah. Oh, you were testing to see if I thought that he died in prison?
Yes.
Joke's on you, I didn't even know who he was. Yeah, I wonder how it's like, if that's like kind of like I wonder if there's any like education systems that mention him and that kind of tell the tale as if he died in prison instead of like what actually happened. Did he die of like natural causes?
Yeah, he did. He died like within the last 5 years.
Okay. Are you looking up examples?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm yawning. I feel so unprofessional. I should never yawn on a podcast. Oh my god, now I have watery eyes. Why does... I'm like looking in the screen at myself and my fucking like glasses, they look like I fixed them partially, but it looks like they're wonky to like my nose. Like this area has more space. Like, I don't know, like my left side area has more space between the lens and my nose, or not the lens, but the frame and my nose than like the right side area does. I need new glasses. I need a new prescription. I don't know how horrible my prescription will be. I'm not actually too excited to find out.
Is your vision getting worse?
Yeah, probably. I mean, so the way that it works is like my one eye of mine, I can't remember if it's my left or right, is worse than the other. And so they obviously make an altered, what's it called? Sensitivity? What's it called? Like for your lenses?
I have no idea.
Where they like, whatever it is, where it's like, the different types of lenses. I can't think of the fucking word that it is. Hold on, let me. Different types of, oh, my cat's coming in here.
That's okay. Yeah, most of the Mandela examples I can find are like relating to like pictures or the way things are spelled.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, like do you remember okay, I don't want to say the name of the show because then I won't be able to test you, but you know the famous show with Sarah Jessica Parker?
Yes.
What's it called?
Just give me a sec. It's right there. Fucking fuck. Oh my god, they made movies on it too.
I'll give you a hint because it won't give it away. Sex.
Oh, Sex and the City.
Sex what in the city? Sex what?
Oh my god, are you about to... Oh no.
No, say it again.
Well, okay, are you about to say, oh, is it in or and? Is that what you're about to say?
That's what I'm...
Okay,
yes.
isn't it in the city? Like, in it?
It's Sex and the City, but everybody thinks it's Sex in the City.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Weird. Is it New York that she's in?
I've never watched the show. But that's what the Mandela Effect is. It's people swearing they have a different recollection of something that's...
Do you want to know what's funny? So when I initially said Sex in the City, I said and, but then you questioned me and I was like, oh wait, it's in.
Oh, you said it so fast that I didn't know what you said.
Yeah, I know. I knew as soon as you were like, what? It's what?
Before I went like, what's going on?
My cat ran out when I did that. Yeah, I remember. Oh, apparently they're having a revival.
Oh, really?
I think
apparently
so.
That's the thing these days. Everybody's having a bloody revival. Full House, Friends.
I mean, was Friends a revival or was it just like an episode? It was kind of like Full House had Fuller House, like a full series. Friends was just like a one-time thing where it's like a reunion. That's what it was.
True.
So I wonder if, well, this is saying it's a revival, so I'm just gonna, and then like Gossip Girl.
Yeah. Did you watch the original Gossip Girl?
No, I know who the original Gossip Girl was. I've watched a bit of this Gossip Girl just on the basis that they have really hot gay characters, and that's how you like get me interested in a show. If you have like a good plot for a show, I'm more likely to watch it if you have a hot gay couple in it. Do
you know the show Doogie Howser?
I've heard of it. Not very familiar with it.
It's Neil Patrick Harris, and it's like a prodigy young doctor.
Okay.
So
yes, yeah.
They're doing a reboot of that, but this time the doctor is a female.
Oh my god, funny thing. So thank God you brought this up. I actually forgot about this. So you know who Piers Morgan is?
Mm-hmm.
So
I hate him.
I fucking despise him. He's a fucking sexist twat. They had came out with, I don't know if this is a for sure thing because I only was familiar with it through an interview that he did. So they were talking about 007. And so I guess the next 007 is going to be a female. And he was just like,
Really?
yeah, he was like, that doesn't make any sense because it's a male character. And then the person was like, it's not a fucking male character. It's literally a number describing like a person. Like James Bond is a male character, but the character isn't James Bond. It's 007.
Okay,
And
okay, fine. I understand what you're saying, but also no one's been 007 but James Bond in this like over 50-year franchise.
yeah. But I mean, different actors have played James Bond. Is that bad? He ain't looked the same in all the movies.
Yeah, but he's been the same white English alcoholic.
And there needs to be some change.
Well, I don't know if you remember, like before they settled on Daniel Craig for this latest movie, they were talking about like Idris Elba for a while. That would have been sick.
Oh, that would have been so sick.
Right?
That would have been really, really cool. But yeah, okay, so it says Lashanna Lynch is making history as the first black female 007.
Like it's confirmed?
I think so. This is a article from September 28th, 2021. Then there's some from earlier in September. And then, yeah, I think so.
What is this article on?
It's just like, I guess, an interview that they did.
No,
or
but
like,
what site is this? What are you getting this?
there's one on harpersbazaar.com, indiewire.com, theguardian.com. And then there's interviews. Yeah, there's interviews that IGN did. Scavlan, ET Canada.
Interesting.
Oh my god, she's gorgeous. Holy fuck.
Wait, what's her name?
Lashanna Lynch. Lashana and then Lynch. Holy fuck, she's gorgeous. Oh my god, this fucking black dress. She's wearing like a black dress with like a middle kind of slit thing. Fuck me up.
Oh, she's English.
I'm excited.
I want to see.
And plus, like, it's like a fictional character. I'm like, wait, what, bitch? But and then yeah, he was like, oh, I'm offended because like Apple's taken out. I guess Apple removed the eggs in their salad emoji for vegans.
Okay.
Which I kind of found funny. And he was like, where's my rights as a non-vegan? And then the interviewer was like, have you had any difficulties purchasing or like getting eggs as a result of Apple removing eggs from their fucking salad emoji? He's just like, well, I've had trouble seeing it in the emoji online. And then he was just like, what? Like, he's like, I don't really understand what like this interview is. I feel like this is taking a 180. You know, I used to say 360. I used to say this is taking a 360 when I'm at 180.
360 is you're in the same direction.
Exactly. And I was just like, I'd be like, yeah, this is 360, like new stuff. And then I was, oh my God, realizing that like I was wrong the whole time. I sounded like a fucking idiot. Anyway, sorry, what were you saying?
I was gonna say I was just reminded of this. We should quickly touch on this. Do you hear about Pope? The Pope?
Oh fuck! I got a fucking thing. My news story. It was like something about the reconciliation. He's coming to Canada.
He's coming to Canada.
Yeah.
Probably, he said next year.
What do we think about that, Jordan?
Get fucked. That's what I think about that.
Yeah, I would fucking agree. Like fuck.
All right, should we?
Oh yeah, I'm sure your schedule is so fucking busy that you have to come next fucking year. You fucking prick. Sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
Remember initially they wouldn't even apologize.
Mm-hmm. I sure do.
Now they're coming to Canada.
I sure do. I wonder why. I wonder why they are. But
before we stop talking about the Butterfly Effect, did you ever see the movie The Butterfly Effect?
With Ashton Kutcher, I was literally going to bring that up. So I don't remember much of that movie. I watched it at my dad's house way back when we lived in like a really nice house. And that night, I had such bad food poisoning that I never went back to that movie because I'm just like, that movie just reminds me of the night that I got really bad food poisoning. But I remember it being a really good movie.
It was really good. Do you remember the premise of it?
No.
So it was basically like Ashton Kutcher has the ability to sort of alter history by his actions.
Oh, can he see in the future?
Well,
Or
no,
like he can go back in history.
he can go back to his childhood and he can do something different, and then he gets transported into the current day and as a repercussion of that action.
Oh, okay.
So like what'll happen is like he keeps trying to, I think Amy Smart is the actress, like his love interest in the show, in the movie, and he keeps trying to improve her life while also making sure that they end up together. So he'll go back and he'll like change something big, but he won't be able, like that one action will lead to so many ripples that like he'll go into the future and things won't be good.
Yeah.
So he keeps going back, and but he can't. So then eventually at the end of the movie, he's just like, it's better if she doesn't know me.
Wasn't there one where like his pet dies?
That's that one. I'm still scarred by that.
Wait, it was the movie, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
in one of the histories, there's like a dog that's bad things happen to the dog, and like it's horrible.
Yeah.
Do anything you want to a human. Don't fuck with a dog.
Period. Period.
Fuck.
Period.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's probably another reason why I kind of stray away. Okay, I'm trying to like uh such a weird, so there's such a weird thing, like I'll do something and then like a couple days later or something I'll look back at it and be like, why the fuck did I do that? So something I did recently was I was like, oh, let me go through all the movies that I think have made me cry.
Like you watch them in a row?
No. So like I was like, okay, so let's say like Marley and Me.
Oh God. Yep.
So I haven't watched that movie in years. I just
Mhm.
was like, oh, that's a movie that's made me cry. So like I made a list on the movies that have made me cry. So there's like Marley and Me, Firebird, Toy Story 4, I think Toy Story 3, and then I'm pretty sure Toy Story 2 as well. What's another one? Up. Up made me cry. And so like I was like, oh cool. So like instead of like kind of putting them away and being like, maybe I won't watch those movies, I'm now more inclined to watch those movies. And I don't know why, because I'm like, oh, I hate crying. Although like, I don't know, I'm like indifferent about crying. I don't like crying in public. Like the first time I watched Firebird was at work, and like the only reason I didn't cry was because I was working with somebody else. And then even though like I later watched it, well, I mean, it's different like when you're watching it online with somebody because they can't see you. I mean, like I watched it with my friend from Cali, and like I was bawling my eyes out, and like we were literally snapping each other, both of us crying. But it
What
was
was your
like,
expectation of that movie when you first watched it? Like, did you know that you were gonna like it as much as you did?
so so here's the thing that's kind of like stereotypically standard with a lot of gay movies. One is that there'll be low budget films just on the basis that there haven't been many high budget movies centered around a gay couple or including a gay couple in them. Two is that they'll end in heartbreak. I feel like this is kind of like made apparent. Spoiler alert, if you don't want a list of gay movies in the next 5 seconds, maybe just zoom ahead 30 seconds. Brokeback Mountain was a movie that had heartbreak.
That's got to have the highest budget of any gay film.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Fucking like Firebird has heartbreak in it. There are like a lot of movies, especially like, I mean, Firebird's a movie that's based around like it's basically a retelling of a true story from the Cold War era, and it was like a forbidden love story, or like a forbidden love triangle or whatever. And like even reading kind of like the about of that movie, you kind of knew something like that was gonna happen. And I feel like that's kind of standard because like there are a lot of movies out there told that's like forbidden love story from like a certain time where gay couples were extremely frowned upon or criminalized, and it's kind of just like a retelling of that story. And so the reason that Firebird got me is because it's based on a true story. A lot of times I look at fictional movies and I can just be like, okay, this is just a movie. And like, this is just a movie. These actors are not actually the people that experienced it. But like the telling of the story was extremely like well done. And like they had little parts here and there of like, you know, like obviously like based on a true story. I like at the end of the movie, it kind of says like a more updated version of it. And like, I don't know, like that shit just got me at the end, knowing that like it was like based on reality. But yeah, I think that like most kind of like gay storylines, even in TV shows, end in heartbreak. And kind of you go into it and like that's kind of what an expectation going into watching a movie like that, especially reading about it. So like the way that it was that I found out about it was through YouTube. and I watched a video that was like the best or like the new upcoming gay films of 2021, and that was one of them. And it was even the thumbnail, and there was like 25 movies. So I'm like, okay, this movie seems like it could be really good. So I looked at what was it? It was like a video made on it, and it was like kind of like a summary sort of the story. And in this summary, it basically said that it ended in heartbreak, but it was a different scene. So the way that it was, I don't know. I'm not gonna spoil much. I don't know, because like you said you would watch it. I'm still gonna hold you up to that. But it was just like it was like a different scene that was used. So when I saw that scene when I was watching the movie, I was like, oh, there's still more movie to it, and like there hasn't really been heartbreak yet. So I was like, but then stuff happened, and I was like really caught off guard, because I was like, what if it's not like the others? And then that kind of happened. But I mean, have you heard of Love, Simon?
Yes.
So I feel like full T, I honestly feel like that story wasn't a sad ending on the basis that like they didn't want it to be a sad ending, because that was like monumental for like a teen rom-com to include like a gay couple and be featured in like a huge spotlight. And I feel like that's like the only reason it didn't end in heartbreak. I mean, it's probably not. They probably intended for it to kind of be like a good storyline. But yeah, a lot of. Sorry,
I think that's an interesting theory though, because like I even read this. It was this gay fanfic based on Supernatural.
Oh, like the TV show?
Yeah, it was called Twist and Shout.
Okay.
It's where I forget the characters. Sam and the other dude are like in a relationship.
You mean Dean and Castile?
Dean and Castile, my bad. Yeah, they're in a relationship in this fanfic, and even that one ends in heartbreak.
So it's funny that you mentioned that, because I think in the TV show, Castile like confesses his love for Dean before something happens. And then which basically ends in heartbreak. I love how we're spoiling a bunch of... Listen, okay, if we get hate for spoiling this, first of all, I can't really say this for Firebird, which is why I haven't really gone into depth with Firebird, but Supernatural has been out for how many years now? These fanfics have been a thing for how many years now? And like, didn't the series finale happen like a year and a half ago?
Yeah, I know it was in its final season.
So... I don't know. Y'all should have already been caught up, but I mean, I won't spoil much about it. But like even like couples in like Grey's Anatomy, which I binge a lot. But I don't know. I feel like I hope that trend of like heartbreak kind of ends. But I feel like with certain plots, it's kind of like a must to have. Because like I feel like if Firebird didn't have it, I wouldn't like it as much. It's just something that like keeps me going back to it.
Well, I think that those types of conclusions to media is refreshing every once in a while. Like really corny endings where they end up together all the time is like kind of irritating to me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know if you agree with that.
I mean, like I think I agree. It's just like I feel like with like couples that feature like a straight couple, it's more common to have them end up in the end, or like end up together in the end. But with like couples centered, or with movies centered around gay couples, that's not. It's like literally the opposite.
And like for example, like there's certain ones that don't end up corny and they end up together that like I'm about to spoil another one, so skip ahead if you don't want to hear this. But I don't remember if it
just don't watch this podcast if you don't want any spoilers.
I don't remember if it was you that I already talked to you about this, but did you ever see the movie The Best of Me?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes, this was. I literally, I kid you not. Like 2 seconds ago, when you were talking about the corny ending, I was thinking about at the end of that movie where it's like, oh, whose heart was it? And it was like, oh, it was his heart. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I was thinking about. Okay, the corny fucking ending.
The end of that movie, that destroyed me. Like, that ruined me.
Do you want to know what's funny?
What?
I was going to be like really ruined by that ending if it didn't have the heart ending.
But that's straight like, up. I didn't even like. I forgot about that. Like that's not even important. I don't care about.
Yeah, that. I just found that so like I think the worst quality in a movie that I can think of right now is predictability.
But you do realize the literary point of them doing that, right?
Yes.
It was so she was like, okay, well, that's why he died. Like there was a purpose to his death.
Yeah. And it's kind of like he's here now, like he's still here. He's still like a part of like
Well,
yeah.
I guess, but like it's more of that. Like now I understand why he had to die. He had to die so my kid could live.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, 100%. But I mean, it's just like, I don't know. It completely, like, even if it's like a storyline that I agree with, if it's predictable, it's so, like, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, me too.
It's like semen after an eggplant diet. I don't want it. I don't want it. I want the pineapple diet, please.
I have nothing to add to that conversation.
But yeah, I mean, what was another Nicholas Sparks movie besides like the fucking, what was the other one? The fucking with fucking what's his face?
There's like The Notebook.
Yeah,
Safe
The
Haven,
Notebook. Yeah,
The Best of Me.
Maybe it was Safe Haven. Is that with Julianne Hough?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah.
That one was good.
It was a good one, yeah. I really liked that one. I was surprised at the ending. I thought it was going to end differently. Because like a lot of Nicholas
Duhamel.
Yeah, a lot of Nicholas Sparks movies end like really like bad.
Yeah, they do. They do. I mean, The Notebook, if you think about it, was like a pretty happy ending.
But didn't they not get together in the end?
They got together.
Oh, they did?
They got together.
Did they live happily ever after?
So here's the thing. Okay, so The Notebook, like a lot of people remember it as like an unhappy ending because you see her going senile and he has to make her remember all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But honestly, if you think about it, they ended up together. They lived their whole lives until she got dementia together, and then they died together. So like, I don't know. That's the happy ending to me.
What is like the movie that made you cry the fastest? I have an instant answer for this.
Oh, dog movies. So like, Marley and Me made me cry.
No. I mean like in the like fastest is in like in the movie, like the first like 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, that's never happened to me.
Do you want to know what I'm?
Oh no, I know. No, I know. Shit. What's that? A dog? I think it's A Dog's Journey.
Oh.
Or A Dog's Way Home. So in that fucking movie, I'm about to spoil this again.
Just don't watch this podcast or don't listen to this podcast.
You have to watch that dog die like 9 times. So
yeah, because it comes back to life as a different
dog. Back to life. So the dog dies in like the first 10 minutes. So that's the one.
You want to know what one mine is?
What?
Up. When they show their life together, Carl and Ellie.
Oh, okay.
That, holy fuck. Like, I was so young when I saw that movie for the first time, and that fucked me up. Even watching that back for this, like, I just watched Up last month, and I had to skip the first part. I was like, I'm not doing that to myself, because I know I'm gonna fucking bawl my eyes out. Like that, oh my god. Do you remember that part?
I haven't seen that movie. I was hoping I could get away with this whole conversation without you knowing that, but if you're gonna ask me straight up, I can't lie.
You've never seen that movie?
No.
What? Why?
I don't even know what it's about.
Are you Jordan? You don't know any part of the plot.
No. Oh, it's animated. I'm not gonna watch that.
Fuck you. Jordan, I will literally fucking take 20 minutes off this podcast to fucking drive over to your house and smack you. If you watch Firebird, we're watching Up. And then you can bring in a fucking stupid movie that you like and I'll watch it. I will be very, very intoxicated, but I'll watch it.
So you're admitting that Up is a stupid movie? Is that what's happening?
No, you have bad taste in movies if you don't fucking like Up, you bitch.
How do you, what?
Oh, and not even just Up, animated movies, ho. You don't watch no damn animated movies?
No, I don't.
None?
No.
Have you ever seen The Incredibles?
Yeah, saw it in theaters.
Okay.
It was okay.
Have you seen the second one?
No.
I'm going to fucking fight you. I'm fighting you. At UFC. What's the next UFC? 290?
No, 267?
267? All right, we'll be at 268. Wait, is it like... Okay, I might sound stupid here, but this is the 267th UFC thing they've had.
Pay-per-view, yes.
Pay-per-view, okay.
They've had a bunch of events in between those, but this is a pay-per-view, yeah. What do we have for runtime?
Hour 30.
Damn. We haven't even done...
we haven't even done our third. Don't say it yet, just in case we don't get to it. Yeah. But I mean, we haven't even done Placebo.
But that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant the third thing. Oh yeah, you did say we could do the third as an optional one if we.
Yeah, I almost wonder if we should cap this now and then do placebo next time.
I mean, how long do you think it's going to take for us to go through placebo? Because like we got like, oh, we actually, I mean, we went straight into filming.
Yeah, we did. I think this is long enough. I think we should end this one.
Yeah, we could do a split.
Yeah, and I actually think we've got 3 topics for next time too. I got another one I want to bring up.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Fun. Okay, yeah. Now we got to think of the session thing. So okay, wait. Let me think of one. I need to make it juicy, and then of course you think of one, because shared experiences.
Just looking around for some inspiration.
I know. I'm like, me too. I'm like, what's? Okay, I think I got one.
All right, go.
So, instead of like favorite versus like, or like favorite now versus all-time favorite, we can do favorite to play versus favorite to watch. So
okay.
Sports. Yeah. So I'll go first. Yeah, I'll go first. So, my favorite to watch, hands down, is volleyball. I fucking love volleyball. It's, oh my God. I don't know why. It's just like, that shit is just so fucking satisfying, bitch. Like, holy shit. Fun fact, fun story time. So, I think this was 2015. I was helping line for BC men's provincial volleyball. And I guess they had scouts there for like refs and like linesmen for the Rio 2016 Olympics. And apparently they were in touch with the refs that were there at like the volleyball provincials, or that's what we were told. And then one of them literally came up to a small group of us and like offered us a chance to basically go to Rio and be linesmen and lineswomen. But like obviously we would have to go through a lot of courses to get our certification, so that we could do it. And the way that it was described to us was that everything Rio related was paid for, but anything extra you would need to pay for yourself. Like flights were paid for, your hotel was paid for, like anything like that. But if you wanted to go shopping on like an extra whatever, if you wanted to stay there for a few extra days, you have to cover that for yourself. But this was, I believe, the summer of 2016. Well, yeah, that would have been the fucking days for Rio. And I couldn't do it because that was the year that I was transitioning from high school into university. And I didn't have enough money to pay for a car. I didn't have enough money to pay for basically an extra semester of university. And I didn't want to have to be like, oh, like, I don't think I would have made enough if I would have went. Because I don't know how many months the Olympics are, but that's like a lot of like a lot of time there. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to go. And as far as I know, nobody I knew went. But I think one of the refs there was a linesman at the Olympics, from what I've heard, because like my old foods teacher, she was a volleyball ref at provincials. I don't think she went to Rio, but obviously she knew a bunch of the refs that were at provincials. And but yeah, to watch volleyball, story time, lol. To play, either soccer or like track and field counts, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so like sprinting, like 50 meter or 100 meter sprint. I'm fucking bomb as fuck at that shit. I mean, I haven't done it in forever, so I feel like I wouldn't be as fast as I used to be. But like everyone would be like, and I'd be like, top of the class.
Holy fuck, that was the longest explanation
I've
ever
been
subjected to in my whole life.
Shut up. That wasn't even the longest one this episode that I have done.
So favorite to watch currently, but it's been for a while now, is mixed martial arts. I just love the chess game, the strategy, the hype. I'm about it. Mm-hmm. Favorite to play, hockey, although I haven't played hockey in a long time. Probably just because I've played hockey for a long time and I'm the best at it, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
I'm the best at it.
But you know what? You reminded me. I wanted shout out Ixo for editing this shit, man.
Yeah, she's been fucking iconic. I hope she's fine with us saying her name. I really hope. But yeah,
if she's not, she can edit it out.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so if she's not, then she can shout out to our editor, who's a bomb ass bitch. Also, if y'all are listening to this and you are avid Twitch, either streamers or you're just viewers, go and freaking send her a follow. I think her Twitch is ixorara_, I think. She streams a lot of Overwatch. If y'all are into that, she's iconic as fuck. Yeah. 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 Do you have one?
Yep.
What is it?
Current favorite food versus all-time favorite food.
Oh my god.
I'll start with this
Okay,
one.
go ahead.
Okay, so current favorite food for me is eggs. And I don't really know
Are you
how
sad that they're not in the salad emoji too?
yeah, I'm so offended.
It's just like, where is
So
equal treatment here?
right?
This is the Holocaust. They didn't have any fucking egg and salad emojis in the Holocaust, and we don't now either. Isn't that crazy? I don't think that's a coincidence.
All-time favorite food? Sushi.
Oh, I thought you were going to say steak and eggs.
Well, that would technically be two foods, would it not?
Well, that's like a dish.
Well, did I say favorite dish or did I say favorite food?
I mean, sushi is like a combination of a bunch of fucking food. The fuck?
True. True.
And there's a bunch of different rolls.
True. Touche.
Do you like steak and eggs more than sushi?
No.
Really? This one's hard, bitch. This one's really difficult. Cause like for the longest time, my favorite food was sushi. But I haven't had sushi in a really long time, and like no tea, I haven't been craving it. Off the top of my head, cause like usually if I don't have sushi for a while, like it used to be my favorite food, I would want it all the time. And like
for those of you who aren't watching on YouTube right now, I'm disgusted.
that I haven't been craving it.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, I fuck. Okay, can I just choose? Kate? Can I just choose the food that I'm craving the most right now?
Sure.
Okay, I'm craving a like breaded chicken sandwich with mayo. I don't know why, but like like a junior chicken or like a KFC breaded chicken sandwich.
You
Like-
know who has the best breaded chicken sandwiches is Wendy's, to be honest with you.
Do they? Oh yeah, that's so true. I usually
you
get Baconators from there.
Yeah, if you get like the spicy chicken from Wendy's.
I usually get, my go-to is Baconators, but I think one time I got the chicken because I think they were out of Baconators.
Talked about this with you off camera. Baconators is too much ketchup and too much bacon.
Well, you can order like less sauce.
Yeah, but if you have to modify it, then the product is inferior.
Well, like you don't have to. You're just a bitch. I also had who was I with when I told this? I love just like my knee. I think I might have been with it was a coworker. I can't remember who it was. And I had like my Parmesan chicken. So it's like breaded chicken, but it's like Parmesan and then it's like marinara in it. That into a sandwich or like even like a wrap. Ooh! Like I'm thinking about the times where I used to, when I worked at Tim's, I would literally just make whatever the fuck I wanted and like experiment with different types of like sauces, meats, foods, and like. So they have, the potato wedges there?
Wendy's?
Tim Hortons.
Yes.
So they have like chili cheese potato wedges. Have you ever tried them?
No.
Okay. They're really good. I would actually I would recommend them. But so the chili that Tim Hortons has mushrooms, and I hate mushrooms. So the way that I would do it is I would just like kind of like make sure there was no mushrooms in it. I would like have like a boatload of wedges, like put a bunch of chili and then put a shit ton of cheese. Holy fuck, what was that?
That was my Snapchat, sorry.
Oh, I thought that was Franck. I was
She's
like,
at daycare.
Oh, that's so cute. What time is she at daycare till?
Till 5.
And then, oh yeah, because your parents will pick her up then?
Yep.
My all-time favorite food.
You still haven't even told me your all-time fucking favorite food.
Excuse me, it's not just you. It's not just you that I'm telling, Jordan. And
they're less interested than you.
If you knew how I feel about that, why would you say that? Like, you put me in such an uncomfortable situation. Like, I'm not happy. You know that I'm trying. Oh God.
I have to pay attention to you. They don't.
Yes, they do. You don't even pay attention to me. You literally, I said, when are you going to do this? And you were like, yeah, I'll just look this up for fucking the placebo effect when you're fucking talking. Or for the butterfly effect when you're talking, you shady bitch.
Mandela Effect.
Oh, was it the Mandela Effect?
Yeah.
It was statistics?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah, it
just
was.
spit it
Okay,
out.
anyway. I mean, okay, I guess all time. Okay, are we talking all time, like, for, like, the most amount of time I've had this food as my favorite?
Sure.
You just start saying sure just to get this over with, shady bitch. Then, yeah, probably sushi. Or, like, pork. But, like, I wouldn't say sushi's my all-time favorite because it's not, like, all-time at the top. It's not my favorite anymore.
We're going with sushi.
It's not my favorite. We're changing. I don't know. Okay, wait. Is there a food you want to try that you haven't yet?
No.
Really? There's never been a food like on your bucket list to try that you haven't?
No.
Would you try escargot?
Fuck no.
Have you ever had a lobster roll?
I've had lobster. I've never had like a lobster roll. No.
Would you have a lobster roll?
Probably.
Okay, well then there's a food that you haven't tried that you would try.
Sure.
Mine would be a lobster roll. I've seen many lobster rolls on TV, and like I want a lobster roll so fucking bad with real lobster, obviously. But that shit looks divine.
Okay, let's end this. We're just rambling now.
You're so disrespectful. Okay, so we're gonna end here, you guys, because I'm deciding that we're ending. Anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed, as always. Be sure to let us know. Be sure to follow our socials. They'll either be linked to, I guess, our Spotify information or our YouTube video. Or we can just tell you, shoot us a follow at the Conversion Therapy Podcast. I think that's what it is on Instagram. But yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed. We'll catch you in the next. We only did 2 fucking topics this episode, dude.
That's okay.
I mean, I'm sure we talked about many other fucking shit. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. And we will catch you next time. Yeah. Okay, bye.